Welcome to our deep dive today. We got some really interesting material to dig into.
Yeah.
Excerpts from this book called Unlocking Human Potential, AI and the Cultivated Mind.
Oh, cool.
And it's all about this kind of radical idea,
Right.
that our minds are incredibly powerful, yet we're barely scratching the surface of what we're actually capable of.
So, like, we have all this potential, but we're not really using it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like having this amazing supercomputer, but only using it to check email or something,
Yeah, like just the very, very basics.
Right, exactly. And the book really drives home this point that,
Okay.
this untapped potential, it's not just like a personal issue.
Yeah.
It's like it's holding back progress
Wow.
on a global scale.
So it affects everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a huge thing.
That's a really interesting way to think about it.
Yeah. And so let's get into some specifics here.
Okay.
The book argues that this whole cultivating the mind idea, it's not just about becoming smarter or learning more facts and figures.
Yeah.
It's about nurturing those uniquely human qualities that AI can't replicate.
Okay, so like what kind of quality?
Like things like creativity, critical thinking, empathy, things like that.
Yeah, those are important.
Yeah, and these are things that, AI is still, struggling with to really grasp.
Right. It's much more nuanced than just, processing data.
Exactly.
It's about understanding what it means to be human.
Yeah, and the book takes this really fascinating approach
Okay.
by highlighting how this untapped potential plays out across different areas of life.
Okay, so like how does it show up in our everyday lives?
Right, like for example, it argues that traditional education systems, with their emphasis on rote memorization, are actually stifling
Interesting.
our natural curiosity and limiting our potential.
So instead of encouraging us to learn and explore, we're being taught to just memorize facts
That's the argument, yeah.
and not really think for ourselves.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's not just about regurgitating information.
Right.
It's about you're not really developing that deeper understanding.
Yeah, you're not really connecting with the material.
And it doesn't stop there.
Okay.
The book also dives into how cultural norms and societal structures can often limit opportunities, based on things like gender, age, or background.
So it's saying that our potential is being limited by these external factors.
Yeah, and that's kind of disheartening, right? I mean, you think in this day and age we'd be doing a better job of recognizing and nurturing everyone's potential.
You would hope so.
Right.
But that's not always the case.
That's the point the book is trying to make.
And what are the consequences of that?
Well, think about all the potential innovations and solutions we're missing out on.
Right, because we're not tapping into everyone's full potential.
Exactly. It's like we're operating with one hand tied behind our backs, like you were saying earlier.
Yeah, it's like we're limiting ourselves.
Right. But the book doesn't just dwell on the problem, right? It offers some potential solutions.
Okay, I like that.
And this is where AI comes in.
Interesting.
This is where things get really interesting.
So how does AI play into all of this?
Well, the book proposes that AI, used thoughtfully and ethically, could actually be the key to unlocking that untapped human potential.
Wow, that's a big claim.
Yeah, it is. But how exactly would that work?
Right.
I mean, we hear a lot about AI these days, but it's usually in the context of automation or making things more efficient.
Right.
This sounds much more, transformative.
Yeah, it's not just about doing things faster.
Right.
It's about doing things differently.
Yeah, it's about fundamentally changing the way we approach things.
Okay, so what does the book say about how this would actually work?
Well, it paints a very detailed picture of what these AI systems could look like.
Okay, give me an example.
Okay, imagine personalized learning platforms.
Okay.
That can adapt to your individual learning style, your strengths, your weaknesses. They could identify the best way to explain complex concepts.
So like a tailored learning experience.
Yeah, they could adjust the pace to keep you engaged.
So you're not getting bored or overwhelmed.
Right, and even anticipate your questions before you even ask them.
That's pretty amazing.
Right. It's like having a super tutor that's just laser focused on your individual needs.
That would be incredible.
Yeah, but wouldn't that require a huge amount of data?
Yeah, that's a good point.
About each individual.
How would they get all that information?
Right, and that's why the book emphasizes the importance of data privacy.
Okay.
And ethical considerations.
Yeah, that's crucial.
It argues that we need to build safeguards into these systems from the ground up.
So we're not just collecting data willy-nilly.
Right, exactly. We need to be very thoughtful and intentional.
And make sure people's privacy is protected.
Absolutely. And it's like, we can't just throw ourselves into this AI-powered future
Right.
without thinking about the potential downsides.
Yeah, you need to be careful.
But if we do it right,
Okay.
the possibilities are pretty mind-blowing.
So what else does the book talk about?
Well, it doesn't just stop at education,
Okay.
It explores how AI could help us identify and develop our talents, enhance communication and empathy,
Wow.
and even facilitate conflict resolution.
Wait, hold on. AI resolving conflicts.
Yeah.
That sounds a little far-fetched.
I know, right? It's like, how could a machine possibly understand the nuances of human relationships and emotions?
Yeah, it's hard to imagine.
Right, but the book argues that AI wouldn't necessarily be making the decisions.
Okay.
Instead, it could analyze different perspectives in a conflict,
Ah,
identify areas of common ground,
okay.
and suggest potential solutions.
So kind of like a mediator.
Yeah, exactly. It's like having a superpowered mediator on hand to help facilitate constructive dialogue.
That's an interesting way to think about it.
Right. And so in this vision of the future,
Okay.
AI isn't replacing us. It's augmenting our abilities
Okay.
and helping us reach our full potential.
So it's a tool,
Yeah,
not a replacement.
exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not just about individual growth.
Oh, okay.
It's about societal progress as well.
Well,
Imagine a world where everyone has access to these tools
right.
and is empowered to contribute their unique talents and perspectives.
That would be pretty amazing.
Right. It's like we could unlock this huge reservoir of creativity and innovation.
Yeah, the possibilities are endless.
And we're just scratching the surface of this whole concept, right?
Yeah, there's so much more to explore.
There's so much more to unpack.
I'm excited to hear more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So next time,
Okay.
we're going to delve into some specific examples of how these AI systems could actually work in practice.
Sounds good.
And we'll explore the potential benefits, the challenge, and the ethical considerations we need to keep in mind.
Can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
All right, looking forward to it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're back, and I'm still kind of wrapping my head around this whole AI-powered future we've been talking about.
Yeah, it's a lot to take in.
It really is. It's like, it's one thing to talk about the concept in general, but I'm really curious to hear like some concrete examples of how these AI systems could actually work in practice.
Yeah, let's get into the specifics.
Right, like how would this actually play out in the real world?
Okay, well, the book dives into quite a few specific applications.
Okay.
One that I found particularly intriguing was the idea of AI-driven talent discovery.
Talent discovery, okay.
Yeah, you know how sometimes people stumble upon their passions almost by accident?
Oh, yeah, totally. Like someone just, picks up a paintbrush for the first time and discovers they're like a natural artist.
Exactly.
Or they, try playing an instrument. They're just like instantly gifted.
Right. And the book suggests that AI could play a role in uncovering those hidden talents
Okay.
much earlier in life
Interesting.
and in a more systematic way.
So instead of just kind of like hoping that you stumble upon your passion,
Yeah.
you could have like an AI system that would kind of guide you towards it.
Exactly. Imagine an AI system that analyzes your interests, your activities, even like your online behavior,
Okay.
to identify patterns and aptitudes that you might not even be aware of.
So like it could see things that we might not even see in ourselves.
Right, exactly. It could pick up on subtle clues and connections that we might miss.
That's wild. So instead of relying on, say, standardized tests or like career aptitude surveys.
Yeah, which can be pretty limited.
Yeah, they don't always capture the full picture.
Right. This AI could analyze your actual behavior and interests
Okay.
and suggest potential paths that you might thrive in.
That's really cool. That would be incredible, especially for like young people who are just starting to figure out, their place in the world.
Yeah, it could give them a real head start.
Right? Or even for people who are looking to make a career change later in life.
Absolutely. It's never too late to discover new passions.
So this is like lifelong learning.
Exactly. It's about constantly evolving and adapting to the changing world around us.
Okay. I'm seeing how this ties into this whole, cultivating the mind concept we were talking about earlier.
Right. It's all connected.
Yeah. It's about creating a world where people are empowered to explore their full potential throughout their lives.
Exactly. And AI can be a powerful tool in that process.
So, but let's go back to this AI talent discovery thing for a second.
Okay.
How would that actually work in practice? Like, would everyone have access to this kind of system?
That's a key question and one that the book addresses directly.
Okay.
It argues that for this to truly benefit humanity, these AI tools need to be accessible to everyone.
Right.
Regardless of their background or socioeconomic status.
Yeah, we wouldn't want to create a system where only, the privileged few have access to these incredible resources.
Exactly. It needs to be equitable.
Right. But even if we could ensure equitable access,
Yeah.
wouldn't there be concerns about bias? I mean, AI systems are only as good as the data they're trained on, right?
You're right, and that's another crucial point that the book highlights.
Okay.
It emphasizes the importance of building these systems with diversity and fairness in mind.
Okay.
Constantly monitoring for bias and being transparent about how these algorithms work.
So it's not just about developing the technology, it's about developing it responsibly and thoughtfully.
Right. We need to be aware of the potential pitfalls.
Yeah.
And make sure we're putting the right safeguards in place.
It's like with any new powerful technology, there's always that risk of misuse.
Exactly. We need to be mindful of that.
So this brings us to another fascinating application that the book explores, AI-assisted communication and empathy.
Oh, right. We touched on this earlier, this idea of AI helping us resolve conflicts.
Yeah.
I'm still a bit skeptical. Can AI really understand human emotions?
It's a good question, and I think a lot of people share that skepticism.
Yeah. It's hard to imagine a machine truly grasping something as complex as human emotions.
Right. But the book doesn't claim that AI will ever perfectly replicate human empathy.
Okay.
But it does suggest that AI could play a valuable role in facilitating more constructive and understanding communication.
So how would that work? Can you give me an example?
Sure. Imagine a scenario where two people are having a heated argument.
Okay.
They're both kind of entrenched in their positions.
Uh-huh.
And it's difficult for them to see the other person's perspective.
Right. They're just talking past each other.
Exactly. Now imagine an AI system that's listening to their conversation,
Okay.
analyzing their language, their tone of voice, even their facial expressions.
So kind of like a lie detector test, but for emotions?
Not quite. It's not about judging who's right or wrong.
Okay.
It's about understanding the underlying emotions and motivations that are driving the conflict.
Okay, so it's more about understanding the root of the problem.
Right. And then this AI system could provide real-time feedback to both parties, helping them to recognize when their communication is becoming unproductive.
Okay.
Suggesting alternative ways to phrase their points. And even highlighting areas of common ground.
So it's like having a therapist or a mediator there in the room with them.
Exactly, guiding the conversation in a more positive direction.
That's pretty amazing. I never thought about AI being used in that way.
Yeah, it's a really fascinating application, and the book goes even further.
Oh, really?
Suggesting that these AI systems could be used in a broader societal context.
Okay.
To help bridge cultural divides, facilitate understanding between different groups, and even promote peace and cooperation on a global scale.
Wow, so we're talking about like world peace through AI.
It's a bold vision, but the book makes a compelling case for how this could actually work.
I can see how this could be incredibly powerful if we could get it right.
Yeah, the potential is huge.
But I can also see how it could be misused or even dangerous if it fell into the wrong hands.
You're absolutely right, and that's why the book stresses the importance of ethical considerations every step of the way.
Right, we can't just blindly trust the technology.
Exactly. It's not enough to just develop these powerful AI tools. We need to ensure they're used responsibly and for the benefit of all humanity.
True, it's a balancing act.
It really is. It's about finding that sweet spot where we can harness the incredible power of AI while also safeguarding against its potential risks.
Yeah, it's a big challenge.
It is, but I think it's a challenge worth taking on.
I agree. The potential rewards are too great to ignore.
Okay, so we've talked about personalized learning, talent discovery, conflict resolution.
Right.
What other areas does the book explore?
Well, there's a fascinating section on AI and mental well-being.
We've covered some pretty amazing stuff already, about how AI could help us unlock human potential. But I'm curious to hear more about this idea of AI and mental well-being.
Yeah.
It seems like a pretty big leap to think that like a machine could help us with something as personal and complex as our mental health.
It's definitely a complex area.
Right.
But the book presents a really compelling argument.
Okay.
It suggests that AI could play a significant role in both preventative mental health care and personalized support for those struggling with specific challenges.
So kind of like AI therapists or like mental health coaches?
Not exactly replacing human interaction and expertise,
Okay.
but rather augmenting it.
Okay, so like working alongside?
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Imagine an AI system that can analyze your mood patterns, your sleep habits, your activity levels, even your social media interactions to detect early signs of stress, anxiety, or depression.
It's a bit unsettling, to be honest.
Yeah.
Sounds like constant surveillance.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'd be comfortable with an AI monitoring my every move and emotion.
I understand that concern.
Yeah.
And the book addresses this directly,
Oh.
emphasizing that data privacy and user control are paramount.
Okay.
It envisions a system where you choose what data to share and how it's used, always with your informed consent.
Okay, that makes me feel a bit better.
Good.
But even if we could address like the privacy concerns, how could an AI actually provide meaningful support for mental health challenges? Wouldn't that require like a deep understanding of human psychology and emotions?
That's a good question. And the book acknowledges that AI, while not a substitute for human therapists, can offer valuable tools and insights.
Okay.
Imagine personalized meditation apps that adapt to your specific needs and preferences.
Okay.
AI-powered chatbots that provide on-demand support and coping strategies. Or virtual reality experiences that help you practice mindfulness and stress reduction techniques.
So it's more about AI providing personalized tools and resources.
Yeah.
Not necessarily replacing human connection and empathy.
Exactly.
Okay.
The book envisions a future where AI and human therapists work together, with AI handling routine tasks and providing initial support, while human professionals focus on more complex cases and provide deeper emotional connection.
That makes a lot of sense. It's about leveraging the strengths of both AI and human expertise to create a more comprehensive and accessible mental health care system.
Right. It's about collaboration.
Right. Using the best of both worlds.
Exactly.
And that's really the overarching theme of this whole book, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
It's not about AI taking over or replacing us. It's about using this powerful technology to enhance our capabilities and help us create a better future for ourselves and for humanity as a whole.
A more human future powered by technology.
It's a really inspiring vision, but I keep coming back to those potential downsides we talked about earlier. The bias, the privacy concerns, the possibility of misuse,
Right.
It's hard not to feel a bit apprehensive about handing over so much power to technology.
I think that apprehension is healthy.
Yeah.
It's important to approach these advancements with a critical eye and to engage in thoughtful discussions about the ethical implications.
Okay.
The book itself encourages this kind of critical engagement.
So it's not just about blindly embracing the potential of AI. It's about shaping that potential responsibly and ensuring it aligns with our values and goals as a society.
Exactly.
Well, this has been a truly thought-provoking deep dive. I'm walking away with a much deeper understanding of the potential of AI,
Good.
but also a renewed sense of responsibility for ensuring this technology is used for good.
I think that's the key takeaway here.
Yeah.
We have this incredible opportunity to use AI to unlock human potential on a scale never before imagined.
Right.
But with that opportunity comes a great responsibility to wield this power wisely and ethically.
So it's not just about what AI can do for us, it's about what we as humans choose to do with AI.
Yeah, it's about making conscious choices.
And that's a conversation that needs to involve everyone, not just the tech experts.
Absolutely. It's a conversation we need to have as a society, and one that will ultimately determine the kind of future we create.
Well, I think that's a perfect note to end on to our listeners. We encourage you to continue exploring these ideas, asking questions, and engaging in these important conversations.
Yeah.
Because the future of AI is ultimately in our hands.
Until next time, keep diving deep.
This is DigitView.